Hello everyone, my name is Vlad. Thank you for tuning into this video. It's been 16 months since I quit smoking, and I'm obviously very proud of that. Later in this video, I'm going to talk about how I managed to quit, how it's making me feel, so let's get right into it. Firstly, I want to talk about my smoking journey and where it all began. So I guess my view into the world of smoking began when I was little. Now, I come from a family of non-smokers, all except my big brother. He started smoking when he was just younger than a teenager, so you can imagine it's caused quite a few upsets between him and my mother. And since then, I started to view smoking in a very bad light, but I was certain that I was never going to try it. Eventually, I did though. Who knows what led me to it, but I did try it when I was 14 for the first time. At 14, I remember it was really horrible though, and I didn't try it again until I was 16, but I didn't have a full-blown habit until I was about 18 years old. At 16, 17, I was relying on my older friends for cigarettes, but I was already addicted at that time because every time I was really looking forward to see them. Really loved that head rush, and we enjoyed every second of it. I quite quickly saw the bad health side effects though, but I didn't really care at that time too much. I used to do karate, but yeah, when I started smoking, I could tell that I started to get out of breath much sooner. Then at 18, weed came into my life, and I absolutely loved it, especially those first few months of it. It used to get me and my friend super high. Yeah, we would sneak into the park at night in the darkness and smoke there, and we experienced paranoia and hysterical laughter all in one evening. It was really exciting at that time, and we felt really naughty. I think in those early days I only tried to quit tobacco once. I didn't go for very long. I think I used patches or something like that. Anyway, I did not take quitting at that time very seriously at all. The real attempts to quit both tobacco and weed didn't start until university. This is when smoking, especially weed, slowly but surely stopped being fun. There was definitely great times. I mean, the first year of uni has some of my fondest memories. I had great evenings with many people. I really enjoyed every second of it. But the abundance of weed, the freedom of living alone, just really easy access to weed, the whole independence thing, the frequency of the weed started to definitely turn into a habit, and then it stopped being fun. And that's when I really started my quitting journey. So before I tell you how I succeeded, I will tell you about my previous attempts, and there were many of them. So it was during university that I first started to really attempt to quit. All of those attempts were cold turkey. It was really tough, and I was really bad at it. It was really tough mentally. I was not prepared for all the cessations and struggles that came with it, and I didn't approach quitting the right way. Still, I remember achieving 2 or 3 months on one of my first few tries. The first few days were hell. I mean, if anyone tried quitting before, they know that the first few days can be hell. And then as days went on, the days were alright, but the nights kept staying hard. Like, I could not fall asleep, and I remember trying hot baths. I remember trying drinking hot milk, stopping coffee, drinking green tea, but none of that stuff really have a big effect. Didn't really help a lot. Nothing helped but time. My biggest successful quit before this one obviously was 5 months. So I could come up with many good valid excuses why I quit. Fighting with my girlfriend, stress from work, seeing an old friend, drinking out. But the reality is that I was just not good at quitting. Almost every time I quit, I was going into it with the mindset of doom, and I was not looking forward to the future. I tried different methods. Sometimes I would quit weed first and then cigarettes, or the opposite. Sometimes I would try to replace them with alcohol, and I would end up almost having a drinking problem. Like, I would wake up drinking whiskey. Sometimes I'd bury myself in the flat all day and just watch movies, just try and sleep my life away, try and get through it, get through the first few days. And those were actually like the attempts that failed the quickest. They would usually last maybe 5, max 6 days, and then I would go running looking for the dealer again. Alright, if you got this far into the video, please give it a like, and now I'm going to tell you how I succeeded this time. So partly why I succeeded this time is for the reasons I actually mentioned before. I started to get good at quitting. I think quitting is a skill. What do I mean by that? I mean that I knew what to expect, and when you know what to expect, all those feelings and cessations and withdrawals, they don't seem that bad anymore. I was just kind of numb to them. But of course there were other factors as well. So this time I actually quit on the day that I was sick, and I think when you're sick, like having a cold is a really good opportunity to quit, because you really don't want to smoke when you're having a cough or when you have a sore throat or when your nose is bunged up. It's like a really good opportunity to quit. But this wasn't just an illness, it was like a really bad infection. At first I tried to smoke more stuff, kind of like a painkiller, but it just made the pain worse. So I said, okay, this is that great opportunity to quit. The infection, which I didn't know at that time was an infection, lasted longer than I anticipated. It even required surgery. All that time I wasn't smoking. Then after surgery, the doctor, and obviously I've looked this up online as well, I found out that wounds, and I had a really big wound from the surgery, can heal much quicker for non-smokers, and I was really incentivized to get better. I did not want to get sick like that again, so I listened to the advice. The next big factor that really helped me was we moved into a new apartment. That really helps. When you're in a new environment and you have no associations with smoking, it's much easier to quit. You know, in my old apartment, everything reminded me of smoking. Balcony, that's where I smoke, or the table in the living room, that's where I used to roll up. Kitchen, I used to smoke there a few times as well. All those things had associations with it that were no longer there. The other big factor for sustaining the quit is that I was about to become a father. I really want to be a healthy father. I want to live as long as possible, like we all do, to see our children grow up. I want my son to be healthy too, because it's not only second-hand smoke, third-hand smoke is bad too. And third-hand smoke is all the smells that stay in your clothes, in the walls, everywhere basically. And obviously my wife, who was pregnant at that time, I wanted her to be healthy too. It was a really good reason to quit. And then the next big factor that helped me actually came later. By the time I reached 6 months, I thought, well, if I start now, again, I'll be really, really depressed. I'm on 16 months now. I will reach 2 years, I know. I will reach 3 years. It will be crazy to start now. Am I confident that I will never ever touch it again? I'm a little sad to say I'm not confident, but I don't want to think that way. You should never think of the future like that when you're trying to quit things. It will just make things way too hard, especially if you do it from the beginning. Always be in the present. And in the present, right now, today, I don't want to smoke. By now, I've had many good days, many bad days. I've gone out drinking, and I haven't smoked. And that makes me really, really proud. So how do I feel now that I'm at this point in my quitting journey? I feel great. As I said, I feel really proud that I can do it. It's a great self-esteem booster to know that you've conquered tobacco and weed. Now, some people may laugh it off as it's nothing. To me, it was hard though. It took many tries. And the fact that I accomplished something that was hard for me personally is awesome. It's no doubt having health benefits for me too. They're very gradual though and hard to notice, but I know for a fact that they're there. Now I'm way more active, I have good appetite, and I'm doing exercises, and I gained weight as well. I think quitting has also made me more consistent in other areas of my life. To be able to keep doing something for a long period of time has made me more consistent, better at sticking at other good habits, for example exercising. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you can relate to my story. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, are you quitting? Have you quit? How long have you quit for? And what do you find difficult about it? Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.